2 in the morning. You hear it. That scratching sound. Behind the kitchen wall. Again, you already bought the spray. You already called the exterminator. You already paid the bill. And here you are, 3 months later, listening to the exact same noise in the exact same wall. Here is something worth thinking about. Americans spend $12.6 billion every single year on pest control services. That number grew nearly 8% last year alone, and the industry is projected to keep growing every single year. Now here is the part that stopped me cold. About 90 minutes outside of Philadelphia, in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, there are roughly 40,000 Amish people living without electricity, without chemical sprays, without monthly exterminator contracts. Their grain storage is spotless. Their pantries are clean. Mice do not move in and stay. They have been doing this for over 200 years. No contract, no chemicals, no bill. What they use instead costs under $5, and you can put it together this weekend. I am going to walk you through the exact system, step by step, and I will be honest with you about what the science actually says, what works and what does not. But before I do, I need to know something. Drop one word in the comments right now. Mice, ants, or both. I read every single one. Your answer decides what I cover next week. The first time I walked into an Amish storage barn in Lancaster County, I expected it to smell like a barn. It did not. It smelled like dried herbs, cedar, something faintly minty. The wooden shelves along the walls were lined with burlap sacks, glass jars, sealed tin containers, hundreds of pounds of grain, dried beans, cornmeal, enough food to carry a family through an entire winter. I looked at the floor. Clean. I looked at the shelves. No droppings, no gnaw marks, no sign that a single rodent had ever considered this place home. I asked the farmer, a man named Eli, how long his family had kept this barn. He said 4 generations. I asked him what he used to keep the mice out. He smiled and pointed at 3 things: a sealed tin, a small cloth bundle hanging from a nail, and a gap in the wall that had been packed tight with steel wool. That was it. No exterminator had ever set foot on that property. Now I want to be clear. I am not here to tell you pest control companies are evil. They provide a real service, and plenty of people genuinely need them. But I do want to show you a number. The pest control industry in the United States generated $24.2 billion in revenue in 2024. It grows every year. And here is the detail that deserves your attention. According to industry data from specialty consultants, 85.2% of residential pest control revenue comes from recurring contracts, monthly visits, quarterly treatments, automatic renewals. The business model is not built around solving your problem once. It is built around you calling them back. And the chemical approach carries real costs beyond the invoice. The ASPCA reports that rodenticides rank among the top 10 toxins responsible for pet poisonings every year. The EPA estimates that more than 10,000 children under 6 are exposed to rodent control chemicals annually in the United States. Nobody puts that number in the advertisement. The question worth asking is simple. If a safer, cheaper approach exists and has existed for generations, why is it not the first thing anyone mentions? That is the question that sent me to Lancaster County. Let me give you the honest version, not the oversold version, the actual science. Rodents come indoors for 3 reasons: food, shelter, easy access. Pest management researchers call this the pest triangle. Remove any one side of that triangle, and the problem becomes significantly smaller. Remove all 3, and you have what Eli has. A clean barn after 4 generations. Here is where the biology gets interesting. Mice rely on their sense of smell more than almost any other sense. They use scent to navigate, to mark territory, to locate food sources, to communicate with other mice. Their olfactory system is estimated to be thousands of times more sensitive than a human's. That sensitivity is their greatest strength indoors. It is also a vulnerability. Strong aromatic compounds, particularly the menthol in peppermint oil, can disrupt a mouse's ability to track scent trails. Some studies conducted in controlled environments have shown measurable repellent effects. Here is where I want to be straight with you, because a lot of videos on this topic are not. Peppermint oil alone is not a permanent fix. Pest control experts and researchers at institutions including Rentokil and multiple university extension programs are consistent on this point. Mice habituate to persistent odors over time. The scent fades, and if the food source and the entry point are still there, the mouse will tolerate the discomfort and come back. What actually works is the combination. Scent deterrence as a supporting layer, exclusion as the foundation, sanitation as the engine. That is exactly what the Amish system is built on. 3 layers working together. None of them alone is the answer. All 3 together are remarkably effective. Food-grade diatomaceous earth, recognized by the EPA as a lower-risk pesticide option, adds a 4th layer for crawling insects. It works through physical contact rather than chemistry, damaging the exoskeleton of insects without posing toxicity risks to humans or pets when used correctly. Here is the system. 3 layers. Concrete steps. Real costs. Layer 1. Exclusion. $0 to $10. This is the most important step and the one most people skip because it feels too simple. A mouse can fit through any opening larger than a 1/4 inch. That is roughly the diameter of a pencil eraser. Check every point where a pipe, wire, or vent enters your wall. Check the gap under your front and back doors. Check the corners of your basement windows. Anywhere you find a gap, pack it with steel wool or copper mesh. Both are available at Home Depot or Lowe's for around $5 to $10. Rodents will not chew through either material. Follow that with a bead of caulk to hold it in place. The EPA and every university integrated pest management program in the country lists exclusion as step 1. Not chemicals, not traps, sealing the entry points. If they cannot get in, the rest of the problem does not exist. Layer 2. Sanitation. $0. Move all dry goods into glass or metal containers with tight-fitting lids. Flour, rice, oats, pet food, birdseed. All of it. Wipe down counters every night. Do not leave the kitchen trash open overnight. Check behind appliances, where crumbs collect. Eli's pantry had not a single open bag of grain. Every container was sealed. That one habit removes the primary reason a rodent would want to stay, even if it found a way inside. This costs nothing. It is entirely habit. Layer 3. Natural deterrents. $3 to $5. Soak cotton balls in 100% pure peppermint essential oil. Not fragrance oil. Not a peppermint-scented product. Pure essential oil. Because only the real thing contains enough menthol concentration to matter. Place them under sinks, in cabinet corners, near any entry point you identified in Layer 1, and along baseboards in rooms where you have seen activity. Replace them every 2 to 3 weeks as the scent fades. For your pantry and storage areas, small burlap sachets filled with dried peppermint, sage, and lavender work the same way and last slightly longer. You can find all 3 at most grocery stores or online for a few dollars total. Add a light dusting of food-grade diatomaceous earth along the base of walls in your basement or garage. Apply it with a duster or a dry paintbrush and keep it away from HVAC vents. One honest note before you move on. If you already have an active infestation with clear evidence of established nesting, these steps need to be paired with snap traps or a professional inspection. The 3-layer system is most powerful as prevention and for early-stage situations. Catching the problem before it establishes is where this approach truly shines. Here is what stayed with me after that afternoon in Lancaster County. Eli was not smarter than the average American homeowner. He did not have access to special tools or rare ingredients. What he had was a fundamentally different philosophy. He did not try to kill the problem after it arrived. He made the problem not worth starting. He removed the food. He sealed the entry. He added a layer of natural discomfort. And he did it consistently, season after season, without waiting for a crisis. The pest control industry responds to crises. That is when you call them. That is when the invoice gets written. Prevention does not generate invoices. The average professional rodent treatment in 2025 runs between $150 and $600 per visit, according to national contractor data. The full 3-layer Amish system costs under $15 for the entire year. That gap is worth sitting with for a moment. If this gave you something useful, share it with one person right now. Not for my numbers, because someone you know is probably paying a monthly pest control bill they do not need to pay. If you want to see more of this, subscribe. Every week I bring you one piece of practical knowledge you can actually use. No sponsored products. No affiliate links pushing you towards something expensive. Just the information. And I want to hear from you in the comments. 2 questions. First, which layer are you starting with this weekend? Second, and this one always starts a good conversation. Do you think natural prevention methods are genuinely underrated? Or are they mostly wishful thinking? There is no wrong answer. I read every comment. Next week I am going inside an Amish root cellar. A hand-dug room that stays at 55 degrees Fahrenheit year-round with no electricity, no refrigeration unit, and no climate control system of any kind. The families who built them have been keeping food fresh for 6 months at a time since the 1800s. I will show you exactly how it works.